But it's like some weird S&M stuff of some of these viewers who come back to channels to consume things that they know they're not going to like, just in order to leave a comment. Team, it is that time of the year. Again, we get this thing wrapped up and look back. Today we're going to look at some pinned comments, right? I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments down below about this thing. And then next week, I think we'll do a recap of some videos, especially if you are a creator or you want to be a creator and you want some behind the scenes looks of what a creator like me has on my side of the YouTube studio. So full disclosure there. Without further ado, man, let's dive right into this thing. The very first video of the year. I don't pin comments on every video. There are a few consistencies I think you'll see by the time that we're all said and done. But let's take a look at this. This was actually the very first video from the year. And we can look and see what this dude says. Basically says I'm a shill reviewer. I mean, I guess I understand where he's coming from, but whatever. Next one was a forgotten military survival trick, right, for keeping your water from freezing. He's walking all stealth, yet his loud-ass dog is running wild. What a tool. What's funny about guys like this is, I don't think it was this particular one, but there's a couple guys, and like once I recognize names, sometimes it takes a while, but once I recognize names, I won't pin their comments anymore. Because they're obviously, that's what they want, right? They want the attention. Sometimes it can take me a while to recognize the repeat customers. But, you know, if I don't get a good, solid comment in the first, week, I'm not going to pin anything. But some of these guys get me. This dude says EMP is white supremacy. What do you think about that down below? Was he being facetious and satire, or do you think he was being serious? Internet Anywhere. This was a review of a type of internet provider. There's a big reason why you need to be in range. This dude's a flat earther. Looking forward to your thoughts, comments down below. Are satellites up in the sky, or are they in the firmament? Let it roll. Why I Lied. This was a video in response to comments about a previous video that I guess I didn't pin any on. But everybody thought I was like green screening this, so it was a response to, how to stay cold in the wintertime. And I was just using a field jacket liner. It was down in the high teens or low 20s. And there was no steam coming out of my mouth. And there was just all kinds of comments about dudes who don't understand dew point. And so this guy says I should go back on my meds. Actually, I wish the VA would be better at prescribing the medication that I need, but it's not that easy. Next up was preparing for the storm. I think this was a video I did with Jason Sawyer. But this particular person left a comment that I pinned not as a shame, but to help this individual story be broadcasted out a little bit further. So through the years, they've had to rely on preps several times. Job losses, illnesses, deaths, major financial, and all kinds of other stuff that was going on, right? And thank God for their vets, preps. She says, some people say nothing is ever going to happen. Is that possible? I say, well, what if you're wrong? And couldn't agree further for all kinds of reasons. But, sometimes I think it's just a good idea to share the stories of others. And, like when I say at the end of my videos that I learn from, this is not just a one-way conversation, it's a two-way conversation. I learn resilience and hope and fine-tuning my own craft through a lot of the sometimes critical and sometimes positive comments that are left. Before we get into this next one, I'm going to take a quick shout out to a local business woman. It's Miss Jenny Soap. If you're looking for some handmade soap, she probably has like 60 different varieties. Look down the description below. She doesn't even know I'm doing this. Again, I'm just supporting local business people. All kinds of soap, all handmade, all using natural and old school techniques. So go give her a shout out. This next one, carry every day. And this was, I've done a couple of videos like this where I just stop, and instead of collaborating and listening, I wanted to just do a quick down and dirty, like here's what I actually carry, at least this day, right? As opposed to let me put together a packing list in order to generate a video. At the end of the day, this person had left a really long comment, but was like, I'm not going to let you in my house if you have a firearm, because only police and the militia or something, right, should have firearms. What do you think about the Second Amendment and its meaning as it relates to bearing arms? Next up was just another patrolling video I did. This time I had my pups with me, and it's just telling story, right, without words. Telling story without words. Sometimes I think our words get in our ways. This video is like Joe Biden. He says, "LARPs on an AARP ad." I guess he thinks I'm old. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy creating, and whether it's, nobody looks at, a Hollywood film, for example, and say, oh, it's LARP. It's entertainment, right? But let some dude go out and make a video with himself or with a couple pals, and all of a sudden it's not entertainment. But then be critical when dudes talk critical about guys who create survival type videos and say it's Hollywood. And like, oh, no, it's just entertainment. Right? The irony is steep. So SHTF, then what? I did a series of videos this past year that kind of broke down some different sections in the SHTF field manual, which you can see off to my left, your right. Links down in the description below, over to Amazon, as well as to my website for signed physical copies. But I thought it was a good idea just to help enlarge a conversation. So this guy says, who you trying to kid? You're just a keyboard warrior. You wouldn't last more than a couple weeks in SHTF. Maybe. Next up was on, again, some more military gear. And this dude, I think, ended up being a repeat customer. What's everybody hiking to? It's just a weird comment, right? Just a weird, long comment about people. And I'm not sure exactly how it related, but, whatever. Man, I did do a couple videos on rifles, and I still have some more to do this next year. And this particular one was about lies about SHTF rifles. And this was a response to folks saying you need to be concerned about medium, and long range shooting. And so when I was out in Colorado, I took advantage of having big, wide open skies. And in this particular, the thumbnail, big, wide open skies, right? But again, nobody fights standing up. You get down in the prone. How far can you see when you're in the prone? Not that far. You have to expose yourself. Lies. All these jute boob chains are lies, BS, and clickbait. I don't even know what that means, but I guess thanks for watching, guy. Which one is SHTF? That's not SHTF. Just talking about different scenarios and what is or what isn't. Like, is it always Mad Max? This guy says there will be no SHTF. This is a prepper's wet dream, and he goes on. And interestingly, like I use that phrase SHTF wet dream a lot, even in these specific videos, like talking down about the way that we generate consumerism over something that is least likely to happen. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be aware of all the what could be's, but sometimes I think we go overboard, right? Does that make sense? All your prepping experts have always clean, good, quality clothing. This was another video I did with Jason Sawyer. And here again, we're making fun. You got 2 weeks to prepare, right? Watch out for the shilling that's out there. And we're all subject to this thing, right? Of not being real or not being authentic. But this was such a weird comment. Like, why are your clothes always clean? Well, my clothes aren't always clean. Ask my wife. What could go wrong? He's talking about METC. This guy says, my mission statement is don't waste thousands of dollars on ammo. This is a repeat customer. It's funny. Yeah, I think it took one more video before I caught on to this guy being a repeat customer. But it's like some weird S&M stuff of some of these viewers who come back to channels to consume things that they know they're not going to like, just in order to leave a comment. Like, if you don't like the content, go away. Like, it's okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings. If you unsubscribe, you're not going to hurt my feelings. If you want to leave comments, you're not going to hurt my feelings. But I think you may be doing more damage to yourself than me. Again, going through some SHTF scenarios. And again, with the SHTF scenario fantasy, oh my God, how could we dare possibly talk about when things might go wrong? Nothing wrong is ever going to happen. Ever. It's never going to go wrong. The military will never go door to door and confiscate weapons. There will never be riots in the streets. There will never be a summer of love. There will never be occupying entire city blocks of a major metro area. There will never be a government lying to its people. There will never be locking people down for a 1% mortality rate. Like, you could go on. There will never be an invasion of your privacy. There will never be a government that is spying on 6 layers of people using the FISA court, right? I mean, come on, what are we doing? Here we're talking about, this video was looking at ambushes. How about this ambush option? Stop wasting time, energy, and money. Don't forget your time watching these videos. I took out my 4570, which I'm a huge fan of. Did some plinking, which is expensive to plink. But just had a good time with Hondo running around the woods out here. Why does a grown man feel like he needs to run around with the woods with a rifle, playing pretend army? Which army's using lever action rifles? Like a little boy's got some very serious developmental issues. Wow. So glad I don't live next door to this fool. Get a real life, bro. What do you think a real life is? Like, honestly, what is a real life? What gives a person, specifically a man, a real life? I think that those questions are worth ruminating over. Why you may fail. 7 minutes rambling that I'll never get back. So imagine that this dude is not subscribed, and there's some random video that pops up in a feed, like a suggested or watch next or whatever. And why you may fail. Some dude who's messing with it. Like, it's obviously the thumbnail's not catchy. And then watching 7 minutes and being mad. Like, why did you click on it in the first place? I don't know. And if he is subscribed, then why are you still subscribed? Looking at radios again. And this dude is trying to quote me of saying, I'm not going to get into particulars. FCC yet claims not criminal when it's criminal. Like, scrambling is no more criminal than using a DMR, man. It's not an individual proprietary thing that somebody made up that nobody has access to. You pick up any commercial off-the-shelf radio that has built-in scramblers, and you can descramble. Like, it's not even like magic. It's cool, but it's not magic, and it certainly isn't encrypted, which is authorized, right? DMR encryption is 100% good to go. You can use DStar. You can use all kinds of stuff. Sad hams out there. Some of the responses to some of these guys' comments are absolutely golden as well. Last up, I got for you is one of my more recent videos. These were all in order throughout the year. Talking about the Second Amendment and lies that we tell ourselves about the Second Amendment. In this case, I kind of, at least in the thumbnail, right, called out a bunch of gun tubers, people who run around with firearms, teach firearms in some cases, or just talk smack while holding firearms. And so many people in this particular video didn't understand the point of connection and between gun tubers and not being pro Second Amendment, right? How can you be pro gun but not pro Second Amendment? And it's because of what the Second Amendment actually says and what Article 1 of the Constitution actually says. But this particular dude is like, amazing how this guy never really says anything, but uses lots of words. Maybe it's a Georgia thing, but up north we're more direct. This guy was also a repeat customer. I guess maybe my click-through rate with that guy was a little bit higher. Maybe that's why he came back. I don't know. But there we go, team. Just looking at some pinned comments. Most of them shameful. One of them definitely not. And I think it'll be something I continue going out through next year. Is when I see a ridiculous-based comment, whether it's about myself or the subject matter or whatever it is, just to throw a quick pin on it, gives me the opportunity to come back and look at these things. It gives all of us the opportunity to sit back, reflect, right? Because there could be some truth to some things that dudes like me need to consider, or you all need to consider, or it could be a way to poke a little fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. Team, again, I'm looking forward to seeing your thoughts and your comments down below about pinned comments, about which one was the best, about some of the responses back to the pinned comments, or about anything else that you got. Man, I appreciate you guys. You stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date with future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.
We know you're out there! Come to my voice!